Okay, so Crystal is a director. She had a mindset shift. I'm going to repeat this since I wasn't recording. She had a mindset shift like last year around fall, winter time, and started working her business completely different. And then she promoted to director in March of this year. So I pulled some numbers on all three of you who are going to be speaking. So I hope y'all don't mind me sharing this, but it is incredible. So her team wholesale volume last year over year, I'm going to say year over year, because that means last September versus this September. Her year over year TWV has grown from 1,000 to over 32,000. So she is somebody you need to be listening to. And then she has gone from a team of 4 to a team of 76 with a first gen director. So she has one director under her already. So year over year, she went from a team of 4 with a TWV of 1,000 to a team of 76 with over 32,000 GWV. And she does a consistent 2,000 to 5,000 PRV every month. Last September, she did 891. So now she's doing 2,000 to 5,000 PRV. And she gets consistent new recruits. She's consistently paid at title. Have you been paid at title every month since you promoted to director? That's what I thought. Okay. So yeah, she is somebody you need to take some advice from. So I'm going to let her share what she is going to share. And I just want to make sure that you tell them what is the number one thing that you think resulted in your growth year over year, maybe what caused your mindset shift, and the biggest tip that you would feel somebody who feels stuck, and share whatever you want to share.
Okay. All right. Am I on? Okay. I'm in my van. So first of all, so it feels a little awkward because I've got my earbuds in and I'm in my van because I homeschool. I've got 5 kids and I'm homeschooling. And so they're inside doing school. My husband works from home, so he's downstairs doing his work. So I'm hiding. But yes, my name's Crystal Butler, and I do have notes. So pardon me, but I might be looking down. But yes, this is actually a huge honor to even be asked to speak to you guys, because I don't feel like I'm anybody that has done anything special or anything that anybody else can't do. So I joined Cincy September 30th of 2016. So I just celebrated my 5-year anniversary with Cincy. And I just joined because I wanted a consistent paycheck. And I loved that these products were consumable. So I felt like that was just, and I love these products, first of all. So I was obsessed with them myself. So I joined because I just wanted a consistent paycheck. It didn't matter to me if it was $50. It didn't matter if it was $100 or $200. Like, that's kind of my mind. That was what I was thinking. Like, yeah, an extra $50 a month would be nice. Like, I could take my kids for ice cream. And that was my goal. I did not want a team. I did not want an incentive. I didn't want any of that. So Morgan, I think you've been with Cincy about like 7 years, because I remember when you kind of joined and you were growing, and you were growing really fast. And I'm directly under Morgan. She is my sponsor. So I have seen Morgan promote star, superstar, director. Like, I've seen her promote all of these. And I remember when you were pregnant with Carson and you had earned a trip to New York and you took Derek, and you guys announced that Carson was a boy in New York. So I'm sure you remember that. And I remember seeing that, and I remember thinking, she's so lucky that she has this trip that she got for free. Like, she's so lucky. And like, that was my mind, is I just thought this was all about like luck and just something that I really couldn't do, didn't really have a goal of any of that. And you guys, in the past 4 years, well, I say 4 because that's when I wasn't really working Cincy, but I've probably quit Cincy 6 to 7 times. Like, I would be working it, and then life would get stressful. Like I said, I homeschool. I've had bouts of depression. We used to live in Alaska, and I really, really struggled with depression and anxiety. And then I was pregnant when I was in Alaska too. And I probably quit Cincy so many times, because that would be the first thing that would go. Like, it didn't even matter if I was working Cincy at the time. Like, if I felt stressed about anything, I would be like, well, I can't do Cincy anymore. That's just way too much much for me. It has to go. Like, it's not working, whatever. So that kind of was how my 4 years went. Like, I always stayed active because I loved Cincy, but that's just the way it went. So we did live in Alaska. My husband's in the military. I don't know if I said that. My husband's in the military. So we moved from Alaska, which you get COLA. Sorry, I have to hold my phone too because anyway. You get COLA when you live in Alaska, which is like for high cost of living. And then we moved from Alaska to Maryland, which is also a very high cost of living place, but we lost that COLA. It was a pretty generous COLA, and we lost about $1,000 a month out of our military pay. So financially, we were struggling a little bit, and when we first moved here, which was about a year ago, and I wanted to get a job. And I told my husband, I think I'm going to start looking for a job at night because, like I said, I homeschool, so my days are full. And he really thought I was crazy. And he really was like, no. I mean, he pretty much was like, I really don't think that's a good idea. That you can't. How are you going to do that? I was thinking about door dashing, all that stuff. And my husband just said to me, why don't you start working Cincy like you were going to go to a job? That was the first little like time that I ever thought that idea was ever in my mind of like, what if Cincy was my job? What if I put in the effort? What if I put in time that I would actually put into a job? So I started that like little what if in my head. And that was right around the time that Flash to Full Time, the first program, the first round of it went on. And I joined. I said, that's perfect. That's what I need. And I joined and I said, I'm just going to do everything they tell me to do. That's all I'm going to do. Is I didn't really have a big expectation out of it. I just told myself, if they tell me to contact 5 people, I'm just going to do 5. I'm just going to do that. That very month, I had my first recruit outside of like I had people join my team, but it was never because I really asked about it. Like, it was always just people that said, hey, this sounds fun, I'd like to join your team. So I had a group of 4. I don't even know how. I didn't really talk to them. I never talked to them, actually. It was not working yet. So that was Flash to Full Time. I got my first my first sponsor that was intentional. Like, I asked her because I'm starting to build my business, and that was that very month. The very next month I started working Cincy. I promoted to star. So that was December. Okay, so I do have the numbers. Morgan gave you the numbers. My September PRV was 891 with a group household volume of 1,011. I had 1 active frontline, and I was a group of 4. 1 year later, which was last month, I did 4,792 PRV. My group household volume was 32,833. I had 11 active frontline, and a group of 67. Morgan said 76, which that's like amazing. I'd love that, but it's 67. And then I had 1 new director. So that is just 1 year, over 1 year's time. So my tips, I'm going to just share and then I'll be done. You guys, I think I was kind of, when I was writing this, I was thinking, what would be the biggest thing that in my mindset change that has really changed is this. I stopped quitting. Like, it sounds so simple, but that's what it was. I literally just stopped quitting. My mind changed to when things get hard and I wanted to quit, because guys, that's in me. That's just, I'm so afraid of failing in anything that if I think I can't do it, I'd rather quit before I fail. Anybody else like that? So I stopped quitting. You guys, when I had been with Cincy for 4 years, I had no idea how to have a joint conversation. I didn't even know how to have consistent parties that were qualifying. I remember my very first coaching call with Morgan was because my parties were not qualifying. And I was like, what's the deal? I'll have like all my parties booked and half of them won't qualify. So that was my first coaching call, is I knew I had to figure out how the things that weren't working, I had to figure out how to change them instead of just saying this isn't working. like contacting 50 people and nobody contacts you, being like, okay, maybe I'm not wording it right. Maybe I'm not contacting at a good time. Maybe I'm not, instead of just saying this isn't working, figuring out why it's not working. That literally is my biggest tip. And that's the biggest thing that changed for me is I didn't quit. And now, guys, all the reasons why I would say I would quit before, like when I was living in Alaska and like the first 4 years, I would always quit because like I was so stressed. I was so busy. I don't handle stress very easily. And with kids, like it literally happens daily that I'm stressed about something. And that's the first thing is I just like, I get frazzled really, really easily. And I get distracted really easily, which is what I'm doing right now. And I have no idea what I was about to say. But yeah, that like I have no magic advice or magic thing that changed. Is if something wasn't working, instead of being like, this isn't working, I'm quitting, I changed it to like, okay, well, this has to work somehow. I'm still doing that. And I'll forever be doing that, I think, because there's things that in this business I've already seen with working this for, a year now. Parties that I did even last fall, I'm tweaking them and I'm changing them. And the way I'm doing my follow-ups, like I'm tweaking and I'm changing them constantly to make this work. And just know that if you're not seeing the results the very day that you start something new or start implementing a new system, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. You have to give it time. Like you have to give it a good 3 months, because like things that you are doing now, you're going to see the results in 3 months. You're not going to see them the day you start the results. So I think a lot of times I would get discouraged with that too. So yeah, guys, my paycheck, it isn't exact amount, but my paycheck last year was $225, and I was happy with that. I was like, that's cool. We can go out to dinner. I can like start saving for Christmas presents. And then my paycheck, this paycheck, roughly will be $3,000. That, you guys, like, I'm sure for everybody, nobody is going to say like, oh, that's pocket change. That's life changing to us. We are in one income family. My husband's in the military. He's enlisted. We're not like an officer or anything, he's enlisted in the military. My husband, for the first time last month, this makes me emotional, because last month he thanked me for working, Cincy, and he said, it's because we need tires for our van, and it's going to be $800 to get these tires for our van. And that would have been such a financial drain. We probably would have had to put it on the credit card and paid it off with the tax return. And I said, I could do that. Like, when do we need the tires? Like, I could do that. And you know what? I can still put aside money for Christmas. And that's just huge. And I'm not doing something I hate doing. Like, I love Cincy. I would be devastated if Cincy went away, because I really love my team. I love doing parties. I love talking to people. I love sharing this company with people. So anyway, that's all I have. That's my that's kind of my story. And if I know you hear this, everybody hears this, because I would hear this when I like wasn't working it, and people would say this, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But if I can do it, anybody can do it, honestly. Anything in this business can be learned, like anything. I had to learn everything. I don't have a college degree. I don't have business management. I don't have like anything that would qualify me to be anything special. But like, I'm working towards star director. And I think I know I'll be a star director, and then I'll be working towards superstar director. So anyway, that's all I have. I can't wait to hear from the other ladies, because I love you guys. Thank you so much, Morgan, for letting me speak.
Thank you. You already got me crying, and we just started. That was so good. I loved hearing that, because I learned some things about you that I didn't even know, like about your story. I did not know that your husband was basically the kind of game changer for you. Like, that's really cool. And that when you said your paycheck was $3,000, like I just did a happy dance, because that is life-changing money for most people. And like, that is crazy. Like when I was a dental hygienist, I barely made 2,000 after I was taxed, and I went to school for that, and it was like a good paying job. So y'all, oh my gosh. So I cannot wait to hear our next speaker's story. She has a very powerful story, and you're going to be so inspired by her. And so many of you are already inspired by her. Y'all know who she is. Dixie Denson. Let me find her so I can spotlight her. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so gonna brag on Dixie a little bit now. So Dixie is also a director. Dixie reinstated last year. She was actually not on our team before. I went to school with her, and we really hadn't talked or anything over the years. And she came to me wanting to reinstate, and I was like, all about it. Well, let's do it. She is a former dental hygienist too, so we have that in common. She's also a boy mom, about the same age as mine, so we relate in that also. And she promoted to director in 3 months. Was it 3?
August, September, October, 4.
4 months, y'all. She promoted to director. So if you think you can't promote to director in 4 months, you're wrong. It can happen. And she hasn't struggled to be paid at title. Like, she has been very consistent since promoting to director in 4 months. And now she's had her ups and downs, which a lot of directors do. It's hard to maintain, especially when you promote with a very small team. But her team is fire. Like, they are amazing. So her TWV year over year went from 5,000 to almost 20,000. And her team has gone from 4 to 94. So her team has grown by 90 people in the last year. She has always done a consistent 2,000 PRV or higher from day one, and she consistently sponsors and is paid at title. So I'm going to let her share. Dixie, if you can, whenever you share whatever you want, but if you can, what were my questions? I lost them. Where are they? So the number one thing you think resulted in your growth, what caused a mindset shift, if you had one? I don't think you really did. I think you came into it hitting the ground running, but you didn't do that when you were a consultant before. So maybe you can touch on that, like what you've changed since then that made it so much different for you this time. And then the biggest tip you would give someone who feels stuck.
I mean, so my story kind of is, when I was a consultant my first go around, I just kind of played with it. I thought, hey, extra chunk change, it's great. I could, buy something small, maybe lunch, whatever. But my main focus was just to get the discounts. Now, I was used to being a dental hygienist, making good pay, never really having to worry about having money. When we had my son, a few years later, it just really started to bother me that, okay, I'm not bringing in my paycheck. I'm not bringing in my own money. Like, I'll do things on the side, like I would breed dogs and things like that, put testing into them and all that. But my big thing was I was not bringing in normal money. So last year, mind you, I had a team, about 5 people, never made it past lead, went inactive. Like it was crazy. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, my business just went down, like, if you want to call it a business, because I don't think I really turned it into one. So this past Christmas time, it was about August, and I was thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Christmas is coming up. I really don't want to take our family money that my husband is actually working for and buy his gifts. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Cincy another try. I'm going to see if I can make at least his Christmas presents. Like, that was my goal, was to at least buy his Christmas presents. And y'all, I was able to buy his Christmas presents, which I went big. I think I spent like $600 or $700. But mind you, it'd been years since I had bought him Christmas presents with money that he didn't work for. And I was able to buy a laptop. So when I started off, I literally was working from my phone this past December, August, past fall. I was working from my phone. That's how I started my business up. I had one phone. I didn't have a printer. I didn't have a laptop. I didn't have anything. I gradually worked my way up. And something that stuck in my head was, do not spend family money on Cincy. Spend Cincy money on family. And so I'd be like, okay, well, I need a printer. All right, I need to sell more. All right, I need a laptop. I need to sell more. I need to sell more. I need to sell more. And it just kept going in my head. I need to sell more. Because that's how I worked. I have it in my mind that when somebody says they don't have money for something and they're a Cincy consultant, you need to sell more. You have every single tool to sell and to make money that any other consultant has. Nobody in Cincy is lucky. Nobody in Cincy is given anything that other consultants aren't given. Some of us may have to work harder for it, but it's not impossible. You know, mine's a little bit different than Crystal's, whereas I feel like us as leaders, you know, we really need to lead our teams. You can't sit here, love you, girl. You can't sit here and expect your team to drag your butt to the finish line. You know, I feel like because I worked so hard to get my business where it was, y'all, when I started up, I had a litter of puppies. I had, of course, I have a son that wasn't in any type of daycare or any schooling. It was me and him at home all day long. I have Hashimoto's disease and hypothyroidism. I've struggled throughout the past year and a half to just feel like a normal human being on a daily basis. So if you think you have an excuse, you have an excuse. If you think you have an obstacle, you have an obstacle. Make your way around it, you know, especially if you're a leader. Like, I'm sorry, y'all, I love you and I love my leaders and I love my team. But if you're a leader, you need to be making time to train your team. You can't depend on Morgan. You can't depend on me. I don't care if you're brand new baby lead consultant. You need to at least message your team once a week. Now, as you get bigger, it's going to be hard to message every single person once a week. But it's a good habit to get into, because now I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, I have 94 consultants. So my biggest trainings is when I get on weekly for the whole team to see. I'm still going to reach out to people that I see are trying and they're working their butt off, but I can't do it for each person. If you're a lead, this is the time for you to be building those relationships. These are the time for you to start getting into those good habits. Nobody's going to get you there. I'm not lucky. I'm not. Morgan's not lucky. None of us are lucky. We work our butts off. We lose nights of sleep. We, you know, we sometimes walk around as zombies. You know, we're walking zombies. But the thing is, we would be losing sleep stressing over a jerk face boss. So I would rather lose sleep because I'm working on hitting a goal. I'm working on getting a training. I'm working on team mail. You know, a lot of people get this misconception that when you hit director, you have less work to do. You don't have less work to do. You have work in a different area. So Morgan, I can't imagine how many hours a week she may be working her business. You know, things are going to shift throughout your transition to director, because like Morgan said, everyone that's on this Zoom should be aiming for director or is aiming for director. 30 to 40 hours. So like a normal 9 to 5 job. If you show up to work 2 hours a week, you're not going to get that pay that's 30 to 40 hours. That's the same way as your 9 to 5 job. It's not going to happen. You have to show up at least 5 days a week. You have to stay consistent. You need to get a planner. If you don't have a planner, you need to get one and plan out your week. Because I can tell you one thing, when I'm not using my planner, I can tell. I'm planning what I am cooking for dinner. I'm planning daily chores, but I'm also planning my work schedule, because you've got to work. And you can sit there, you can make excuses. And I love y'all, but if you come to me with an excuse, it's going in one ear and out the other. Because like I said, I myself have excuses to not show up for team meetings. I myself have excuses to not to not research more. Like that's another thing. As a leader, and I hope I'm not overwhelming y'all, but as a leader, you need to be trying to stay on top of what's happening, because our essential consultants, our certified consultants, they're depending on us. That is their learning space. That's the beginner stages. Like, you need to have your crap together, because if you don't have your crap together, that's probably why your team's failing. If you have a team that is like, they're at the bottom of the bottom, you need to think about what you're doing. And I'm speaking from my heart. I really am, because I myself have been that person. Like, looking back, I could cry for the 5 people that I had on my team several years ago. I didn't give them anything. Like, I hope I don't see them in public. I'm ashamed of how I was as a leader. And I'm not talking about you're a brand new consultant, you just got lead title, and you need to be sending out mail. No, you don't have to send out mail. You don't have to send out team mail in the beginning. I'm handling that for you. I'm sending out your team mail until you hit a director phase, because I'm training you like Morgan trained me. Once you hit director, then I'll help you transfer over how you're going to lead your team. But in the process, I want you to at least text them and see how they're doing. You know, it's that simple to train them and help them find YouTube videos. Don't drag them to the finish line. They need to put in some work too. But you are their leader. You set the tone for your group. If your PRV is 100 PRV this month, how in the crap can you ask your consultant that's brand new to sell 2,000? I'm sorry, this just heats me up sometimes, because I don't, it's not just me. I've talked to other directors and they've seen that happening. Like, you can't have 100 PRV and expect somebody to have 2,000 on your team. They're watching you. If you don't have it, they're not going to think they can get it. And I'm their director, and I'll reach out and I'll talk to them, but they joined this team because of you. I don't know, Morgan, I don't know if I answered all your questions, but that's just my tidbit that I had. That's kind of where I started. That's where I'm at. That's how I feel about everything. Oh, and let me tell y'all this. So we want to talk about paychecks. This is the last thing I'm going to add. And it's just because I'm so proud of myself. Love you, girl. Do y'all know why I'm in the car this morning? Does anybody want to take a guess why Dixie Denson is in her car? I'm going to Dogtown. Y'all know, if you live in Alabama, you know about Dogtown. I'm going to get a new kitchen table. We've had the same kitchen table for the past, how long have we lived in our house? 3 years, 4 years? It's falling apart. The legs are falling off, and I'm so afraid that somebody's going to fall at Thanksgiving dinner. And I host Thanksgiving dinner. That is my holiday. If y'all know me, I love it more than my birthday, more than Christmas. I do Thanksgiving. And me and my husband were talking. I was like, you know, what are we going to do? You know, I don't want somebody to sit and fall on Thanksgiving. Like, yes, it'd be kind of comical because the family we live in, we'd laugh. But like, you know, seriously, I don't want somebody getting hurt because they came to our house to eat Thanksgiving dinner. And last month we had a couple of things that came up that, you know, was unexpected bills. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a really good paycheck. I'm going to work my ass this month. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm buying us a kitchen table. And so me and him, he drove me to Long's Furniture. We went and we walked around and we talked, and he had so much faith in me. Y'all, he wouldn't have had that faith in me a year ago because I was just slinging wax. And I sat in the car and I added up my paycheck the other day, and income disclosure, y'all know, y'all go read it. You need the link, I'll send it to you. But y'all, I added my paycheck and it's going to be at least $2,400. That is more, or at least as much as I made as a dental hygienist, working on Fridays in prisoners' mouths. Like, I worked Monday through Thursday at a nice dental office. And then Friday, to make that extra couple bucks on an hour, I worked with the inmates. And I'm telling y'all, my goal was to go back as a dental hygienist when my son started preschool. And now I'm telling my husband, hey, what do you think about me just doing Cincy full time?
We ain't doing that. We ain't going back.
Sorry, I know I've held everybody up with my conversation, but you get me on here and I'm going to talk.
You talk all you want to, because it's awesome.
Let me know what you need me to answer if I didn't answer it.
I wrote down a quote: "You can't expect your team to drag your butt to the finish line." That's like gold.
That's redneck.
Flyer with that on there. We're gonna put Dixie Benson at the bottom. So, what is the number one thing you think resulted in your growth from last year to this year? My dog's
it's mindset. It's kind of a combination of two things. One was mindset, and the other was listening to my leader. Really and truthfully, what you said.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. That's Morgan McGee.
Listen. All you gotta do is listen.
Well, listen and put it into action. You know, you can't just call somebody up, ask for their advice, and then say, all right, I'm just gonna do what I'm doing anyways.
Exactly. You can show up to these trainings all day long. You can ask for coaching calls all day long, but if you're not going to implement what you're learning, it's literally pointless and you're wasting your time. And then the biggest tip you would give someone who feels stuck?
I would say contact your sponsor and take what they say to heart.
Next right, and then make a legal U-turn.
I really would. I feel like my sticking close to my sponsor has helped so much, because you don't want to take it down line. You don't want to take it to your front line and your down line. They can't help you. So reaching up when you are in a rut is always going to help. And that's where I failed the first time. I never reached out to my sponsor.
Yeah. And I'll say too, Crystal's really good about that. And
that's my accountable buddy.
Yes, y'all are. She told me that the other day. I was like, that's perfect. Crystal's really good about that too. I mean, I feel like every leader, pretty much every successful leader we have in our group, is willing to reach out for help and ask questions to their sponsor or their director, ask for coaching, instead of just sitting there being like, everything sucks, so I'm just going to sit here and feel sorry for myself, or I'm going to quit. You're willing to figure out a different way to make it work. And usually that comes with asking for help, or at least watching a YouTube video or something. You know, if you're struggling with a certain aspect, watch a video on it. So yeah, thank you so much. Is that all you had?
That's it, girl. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was so good. So let me make sure she's muted. All right. I needed to hear that myself. So I know y'all needed to hear that, but I'm totally putting that quote on something. Brittany said she's going to use it in her podcast. You're about to go viral. Okay. So yes, Crystal is like, Crystal, the one in the chat. So she is not Crystal Butler. She is like a guest that I've kind of welcomed into our group because she doesn't have a good upline. And so if you feel like your sponsor is crap, or you just don't have the support you need, just reach up to your director or superstar director, whoever you feel comfortable connecting with and reaching out to. Reach out and ask for dang help. We can't do this alone, y'all. Like, first of all, you need Jesus to help you through this, because it's not an easy job, but you need a mentor. You need to follow positive people on social media. Even those people can even be your mentors, but you need to connect with someone, an accountability partner, someone higher titled than you. Like, you need those people in your life. You can't do this by yourself. And I'm telling you, once you get to superstar director, it's going to be the loneliest place. Like, you're not going to have people to mentor. I've never had anybody really to mentor me. I mean, I've had people who did voluntarily, but like, I've never reached out and really asked to be mentored. I've never reached out and asked for a coaching call. I've just took the initiative to train myself. I don't have a sponsor. I don't speak to my sponsor. I lost my first sponsor. She got terminated a long time ago. And then I rolled up, and I still don't speak to my sponsor, or she doesn't speak to me, whatever, never reaches out. So I don't have anyone. I have found mentors. I have friends who are superstar directors who've been doing this longer than me, even who haven't been doing it longer than me, who I talk to, and we support each other, and we, brainstorm on things together, and we are there for each other when things suck, or when we need to speak some life into the other person, or whatever the case may be. But have those important people in your life. Be willing to reach out for help. I know it's hard to ask for help, first of all, as a woman, but also as a business owner and a leader yourself. Us leaders can be some of the most hard people to lead. And it's hard for us to ask for help and admit that we suck at something or that something's not going right. So anyway, all right, let's hear from Mare. Where are you? Okay, so Mare is going to share her story with y'all, and I'm so excited. So she is a star consultant. She is paid at title and getting close to superstar consultant now. And her year-over-year growth, she went from a team of 7 to 18 in the last year. She did over 2,000 PRV in September, and last September she did 1,200. So her PRV has even grown. And she has really been struggling to be paid at title for a long time now. And last month she reached paid at title and way beyond, like paid at star title, almost superstar consultant numbers. So I'm going to have her speak to y'all. And again, the questions that I had for you, the number one thing you think resulted in your growth, what caused a mindset shift for you, or whatever it was that changed the game for you in your business, and then the biggest tip you would give someone who feels stuck. If you need me to repeat those after you share, I will.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So my story is not wonderful like the rest of them. I have literally been a star consultant for 25 months, 2 years. I've been very frustrated. If people don't know, my sponsor, who was my daughter, basically dropped out of her business a little over a year ago. So I didn't really have that mentor or even person to, cheer me on. There was always Morgan, obviously. But that made it very difficult. So I'm not great at recruiting. I do have a much larger team now. I actually lucked out. One of my recruits kind of went inactive, and her little team rolled over to me, and they've been superstars. So I've been kind of lucky when it comes to that. But so let me tell you. So my story is I don't like to quit. I'm not a quitter. So like I said, 25 months at the same title. I kind of came out, I was a certified consultant when I joined. My launch party was like 1,200 PRV. So I literally was never even an assumption consultant. I went straight to certified. I hit lead a month or two later. I had a small team under me, promoted to star relatively quickly. I want to say within maybe 5 or 6 months after hitting lead. And I've been here ever since. I've been with Sensi for 3 years last month. So September was big growth for me between last year but I joined in September. So I'm going to kind of go in a little bit different direction than Dixie and Crystal. I have struggled. We've all struggled. My biggest, I think, turning point was the flash to full time. If you guys have not done that, you absolutely need to. I kind of had Jill as my sponsor there. Kicked me in the butt a little bit. It was huge. It really did change. My team has grown immensely. I think my leadership skills have grown since then. I am still awful. I am disorganized. I have a planner that I don't use as often as I should. So I'm just being honest here. But you have to hold yourself accountable. That's what I've started to do a little bit more. Not everyone is gonna, take off and hit the ground running and have this fabulous, triple promoted in a month, 2 months, 3 months. But you can still do it. So stay positive. We're not all rock stars all the time. Don't get discouraged at all. Build those relationships with your customers because that's what keeps them coming back. I have consistent customers every month. Thank God, because I don't know if everyone can see, I'm in a sling. I was in a serious head-on motor vehicle collision a year ago in August. So I was out of work for a bit, and then I was put on light duty, and you know, all the fun stuff. Oh, something just fell. All the fun stuff. So I have actually been out of work now for a little bit. I just had shoulder surgery on top of cervical spinal injections, which have been fun. But you know, could I have used that as an excuse? Of course. And this is literally a year ago. And you know, like Morgan said, I've had some pretty decent growth over the past year. It's not an excuse, it's an obstacle, like Dixie said. So anyone can do this. Be genuine. I am not a huge people person. Like once I get to know you, I'm pretty good, but I'm not outgoing. I'm pretty much introverted. I hate speaking in front of people, if you guys couldn't figure that out, but I'm here because I'm honored that Morgan asked me. A little surprised because I don't have that wonder story, but I think it's kind of keeping it real because not every single one of us is going to be able to put those numbers out and promote, but you got to stick with it. You know, stay positive, have faith in yourself, and do some introspection. So if things aren't working for you, figure it out. And don't sit there and say, well, I don't know. Well, deep down, we do know. You know, be completely honest with yourself. I know I'm a disaster. I totally need to get myself more organized, and I've been slacking on sending out, you know, happy mail and all that kind of stuff. So I know what my focus is, and now it's just getting my butt in gear. So I think that's about all I have, Morgan, unless you have some questions for me.
First of all, I'm so proud of you. Also, your story is incredible. It is valuable. It's worth sharing. And I know that you just helped so many people with that, because so many people do struggle, especially like when you reach director and you know, maybe you can't maintain your numbers and you fall into DQ, and then some people even demote and then have to re-promote. Like, it's hard being a leader, and it's very hard to keep going when you feel so discouraged all the time. And I think part of your story, one of the most important things was that you said you had people, you know, speaking inspiration or whatever it is into you and giving you that kick in the butt that you needed. And you had the right people surrounding you and pushing you. Also, can you talk a little bit about your first Cincy family reunion experience? I know it wasn't the real thing, but we did do a beach gathering, and we watched everything virtually at the beach, and it was really fun, and it was her first. So I thought it'd be cool if you shared a little bit about what that experience was like for you and if it changed anything for you.
Sure. Okay. So yes, thankfully, my child actually lives about 15 minutes from where the Cincy family reunion was. So I was able to get a little child time in, as well as the reunion, but it was great. And I'm from New York, if you couldn't tell. I'm not one of you Southern belles, but I live in Virginia. And so I'm the only one actually from my team or whatever. I had never met personally any of the people that we went to. So it was a little daunting. Because like I said, I'm a little bit of an introvert, but it was a great time. I'm so glad that I went. I dragged the husband, who actually says it was pretty cool. And it will definitely not be my last. I'm sorry. I had actually earned the incentive before all of this COVID nonsense to go to Salt Lake, I think it was. And I was really looking forward to that. And unfortunately it was canceled. So, but I am definitely planning on being at the next one. I highly suggest it. Like I said, I didn't know anyone. You know, I knew Morgan from calls and everything. I knew Jill and Brittany from doing the programs, but like we had a blast. I didn't do a lot of because we weren't staying at the hotels, we were staying with my kid. So we didn't do some of the like get-togethers during the week, but we actually did. We went out and had a little fun doing a clue, which was cool. We kind of worked together, and that was fun. So yeah, definitely, you guys have to try to make some kind of a family reunion, do something, do some trip, it's family. I felt like family. And that's kind of hard for me because, you know, I'm a tough New Yorker with the tough exterior. And so, but it was great. I felt the love, which was wonderful. So I highly suggest it for everyone.
Awesome. We're so glad you came. It was so much fun. We did an escape room. Her husband was awesome. Like, did it change anything for him as far as like, did he feel any differently about Cincy, your business, the people that you work with, like stuff like that? Did he feel any differently after y'all left?
He's actually home, so I'm gonna let you talk to him. Excuse the husband.
She's actually trying to convince me to do it.
Okay.
Because I do some of her videos for her, and her friends make fun of her because what did they say last time?
He's a ham.
I swear, when you involve your husband, you get like,
he's the absolute
But
expert.
I do training, and so.
when you involve your husband, I swear you get like triple the views. I mean, I don't know what it is, but people love it. And he's hilarious. He cracks me up. So I think y'all would make an awesome team.
Thanks. I'm trying. I'm like, all right, if you're not gonna help me with mine, help yourself.
Love it. All right. So I thank you very much. Is that all you had?
That's about it.
Thank you to you both. Okay. I'm going to share a little bit. I know we've already been on here for an hour, but I want to share a little bit before we go. Thank you to everybody who's stuck in here with us. This has been so good. I always love hearing people's stories, and y'all don't know how much it means to me. I need this. Where I'm at in my business, I need this. Think about it. I have no more promotions to earn. I have incentives I can work toward, but when you get to this point, it's like what else are you working for? So it becomes more about your team and helping people achieve their dreams and make their dream paychecks. And so it becomes about them. And then that's when you're blessed so much in return, because you see all these lives changing and you're helping these people. And that's all you're worried about, is helping people succeed and helping them achieve the things that you've achieved, and to do it easier and to do it quicker and to do it better and to do it without all the struggles that you had. And then you're rewarded in return. So y'all already have me emotional. So now I'm even more emotional, but y'all see me cry all the time, so it's nothing new. I'm like Heidi's emotional sister or something. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all my numbers year over year from September 2014 until last September, and I'm probably going to cry again, so just excuse me. I do have waterproof mascara on, at least I'm prepared. I joined in September 2014. I joined just because I wanted the discount on the product, because I couldn't afford it. Literally couldn't afford to buy a tub of washer whiffs and some wax bars. So my husband was in the Army. They're underpaid. I was a dental hygienist, made $35 an hour, but I only worked 2 days a week. So I was doing like all the side hustles. I was doing Etsy shops. I was doing cakes on the side. I was dog sitting. I was doing all the things I could do. I've always been a hustler. I wanted more and more and more until I found Cincy, and that's when I found what I'm supposed to do in life. But I joined for that reason. I didn't want a team. I didn't want any responsibility for anyone. I didn't know anything about direct sales, nothing like that. So I just joined for the discount. And then it became, well, we need some extra income. So I'm going to stop this Etsy stuff. I'm going to stop the cakes. I'm going to stop all this stuff. And I'm going to focus on Scentsy. So every time I was off work, every day I was off work, I worked on Scentsy. I worked on Scentsy after work, like every chance I got. September of 2014 is when I joined. So I had a team of 0. My PRV was 60. I did join September 24th. So, but I did 60 PRV. I didn't have a freaking clue what I was doing. Like I had to figure out, how do I do a launch party? How do I have people start doing parties? Crystal Butler was actually my first bag party. So 2015, September 2015, I went from a team of 0, just myself, with 60 PRV the month I joined, to a year later, a team wholesale of 18,000 with a team of 45, and my PRV was over 5,000 in 1 year. My first year. I was partying my butt off. I was sharing this opportunity with everyone, because once I had my first recruit join, who I tried to talk out of joining under me, I tried to talk her into joining under my sponsor. Luckily I didn't, because she's terminated now. But and Hannah Rule, I think, was my second team member. She's now one of my directors. Crystal was one of my first team members. She's now a director. Like crazy stuff. Sorry, Hannah's a star director. But in a year's time, that is what I did. I built a team of 45 people. We promoted that month to director and did 18,000 team wholesale volume. Like that's over halfway to star director numbers. And my PRV was 5,000. A year later, in 2016, my GWV was 54,846. Hold on. What is this? 2016. And I had one director, one first generation director. So that's why I'm moving to GWB, because this is going to be cumulative, everybody in my group, including directors. So 18,000 to 54,000 in another year. Team of 45 to team of 175 group. 2017, this was the year Carson was born. This is the year my world turned upside down in the best way and also the craziest way. So I promoted to superstar director in 2017. The year he was born, I promoted that fall. He was born in July. I promoted in September, October, I don't know. So I promoted to director within a year, star director within another year, superstar director within another year. It happened very quickly, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I wasn't coaching anybody. I wasn't working one-on-one with anybody. I was literally saying, hey, what are your goals this month? Awesome. Good luck. Like, that's it. I was terrible. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. So, and nobody was telling me what to do. Nobody was talking about coaching one-on-one and stuff like that back then in Cincy. Nobody was talking about that. So I got to superstar director and was like, woohoo, I got my 4 first gens, like we're good. No, they quit. They sometimes don't get paid a title. It's just like with your front line. If you don't have enough front line, you're going to struggle to have the amount of active front line you need to maintain your title and continue to promote. Once you're a director, it's the same way. If you don't have enough, if you don't have a wide enough director base, it's the same thing. So I promoted in 2017. My GWV went from 54,000 to 78,000. My group went from 175 to 340. And I increased to 2 directors, 2 first-gen directors. Actually increased to 4 first-gen directors to promote. Then I ended up with 2, if that makes sense. So 2018. So this is the year that I struggled. So like I said, I promoted to superstar director. I didn't know what I was doing. I still was not coaching anyone. I wasn't working one-on-one with my directors. And like I said, I had multiple quit. I had some that were struggling to be paid at title, and I wasn't consistently building more leaders. I wasn't building more directors. And that is the problem. If you're a leader, you absolutely have to continue to recruit 2 a month, every single month. And you have to work with those people who are willing to work and help them promote. Because if you don't, you're never going to create more directors. And then your paychecks are going to go, and your business, everything you worked for is going to go. And the proof is in the pudding right here. You heard those increases in GWV every year and group size. So magically from 2017 to 2018, I went from 78,000 group wholesale down to 77,000. I went from 340 in my group down to 303 and back down to 1 director. So I had 5 first-gen directors the month that I promoted to superstar director. And it went down to 1 director within a year because I was not doing anything that I was supposed to be doing as far as working one-on-one with people. That if you do nothing else, work one-on-one with your people, connect with the people who, you know, are hobbyists, who are just here to make a little bit extra. They don't really want to do much with it. Connect with those people, have relationships with those people, treat those people as people, love those people, and love the people who are working and work with them one-on-one. Give your time to those people. If you don't have any coaching calls scheduled this month and next month, that's a problem. You need to be coaching the people who are producing on your team. I have, I don't know, probably 10 to 15 scheduled between this month and next month. That is how my people promote. That is how I'm building this business big and building wealth for my family. I'm helping people reach their goals. So I started coaching that year. I realized like I've got to change something. So I reached out to one of my mentors, Chloe Cox. I talked to her about coaching and watched her trainings on coaching, and her husband came up with this system of coaching calls, and it changed everything for my business. So not only did it help me start connecting more with my team, but it helped my BAR report, my business analysis report. You have one too in your workstation. It's in your reporting tab. It shows you year over year, all of your growth. It shows you your paycheck growth. It shows you your team growth, your group growth, your promotions growth. So like if you look at it and you see, oh, we had 2 certified promotions this month, but then the next year you have 1, that's a problem. So it shows you if you're running a healthy business or not. It shows you your weaknesses. It shows you your team's weaknesses. It shows you what you need to work on. So looking at that, the proof is in the pudding and the numbers don't lie. So from 2018 to 2019, that is when I started coaching one-on-one. That is all I changed in my business. Our group wholesale went from 77,000 to 112,000. Our team or our group went from 303 back up. It went to 564. That is what one-on-one coaching does. From 2019 to 2020, our group size doubled. Our volume more than doubled. We went from 112,000 GWV to 310,000. Our group size went from 564 to 1,064. And I went from 2 first-gen directors to 5 first-gen directors. So tell me coaching doesn't work. And most of you on this call have been coached by me or been coached by an upline, and you know how effective it is. It holds you accountable. It pushes you to work harder. It shows you where your weaknesses are and exactly the areas you need to work on. And when you focus on that one area, instead of trying to do all the things, you focus on that one important area or that one weakness and perfect that, it changes everything. So from 2020 to 2021, our group wholesale went from 310,000 to 400,000. So we did over $500,000 in sales. Our group growth went from 1,064 to 1,753. We're almost at 2,000 people in our group. I now have 8 directors with a total of 21 directors in our organization. So I have 8 first-gen directors with a total of 21. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th gens. So not coaching. Start coaching. If you want to grow a big business, start working with your people one-on-one. One more thing I want to share is my paychecks, my paycheck growth. September of 2014, that's the month I joined, I made $12 whole. September of 2015. I was a director. Brand new director, 2,917. My paychecks went from $12 to $3,000 in 1 year. That's because I built a wide front line. I recruited my little booty off, and I still do, and I'm never going to stop. September 2016, a year later, star director, $3,400. September 2017, brand new superstar director, $4,600. September of 2018, barely increased, again, because that's the year I struggled, $4,700. So it stayed pretty flat. September of 2019, it went from $4,700 to my workstation's not going to work. $4,700 to $7,224. That's the year I started coaching. So $3,000 difference. September 2019 to September 2020. 7,000 to 15,000. This is in a month. And then September 2020, it went from 15,000 to this year, 18,000. Over 18,000. That is the kind of growth you can have if you are willing to work, if you're passionate, if you are willing to not quit. There's a trend here. Everybody that spoke here today doesn't quit. It's as simple as that. Don't quit. Keep the vision. Keep the vision. Stay in your lane. Focus on what you're dreaming about, what your vision is, what your mission is. Help your people. Love your people. Help them promote. Stop making it about you. Stop making it about your paycheck. Stop looking at, yes, it's my biggest paycheck ever this month. Like, I cannot even fathom the fact that I've almost hit a $20,000 paycheck. Cannot. I'm like, how? I don't even understand. I remember the first time I hit 5,000 and I was like, holy crap, this is life changing. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to get a consistent 10,000. And then I started getting a consistent 10,000. And then now I'm nearing 20,000. And just this time last year, I was looking at my friends in Cincy who make that. And I was like, oh, cannot wait for that. And then here I am a year later, almost there. Like, it's craziness. But work with your people, love your people, make it all about them. This is not about us. This is not about you. When you're a leader, it's about everybody else. And you're going to be blessed in return if you have that kind of mindset, if you love your people, if you just want the best for them and you want them to succeed. That is what's going to help you succeed. I hope this call was valuable. I know it was valuable. Like, it was so good. And this will be posted on YouTube. You can share it with everybody, share it with all the people. I'll put the income disclosure in the description box. And let me end it with this too. Everybody's journey is unique. Just because I promoted to director in a year, star director in 2 years, superstar director in 3 years, and I'm making $18,000 after 7 years, doesn't mean that's what your journey is going to look like. And you have to accept that and be happy with your journey. If you are constantly beating yourself up, thinking you're not good enough, comparing yourself to other leaders, I could easily do that. I have friends who've been doing this 2 years longer than me who make tons of money, 6 figures a month, 6 figures a month. I could easily compare myself to that and say, oh my gosh, I suck. I'm not doing good enough. But you know what? I find joy in my journey. I look at my journey and I compare like I just did and look at the numbers and see how much I've grown. You have to remember that you can only do so much. You can't control who joins your team. You can't control how many rock stars join your team. You can only do what you can do. You can coach them, you can train, you can create a community of women who feel loved, valued, inspired, a community of positivity. You can create a great culture. Those are the things you can do, but the rest is on the other people. You can't make your journey be a specific way. You have to You're on this journey for a reason. It's your journey. It's preparing you for something. It is teaching you along the way. You have to find joy in it. Otherwise, you're going to want to quit. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to think you're not good enough. So you have to find joy in that journey. You have to realize it's yours for a reason. It's special. It's unique. It's happening because that's how it's supposed to be. And you can't make it a certain way. Your promotions are going to happen when they're meant to happen. Your paid at title is, if you're trying to promote it to director and you're not ready, or even star consultant, superstar consultant, and you're not ready, you don't want that promotion, I promise you, because you're not going to be able to be maintain paid at title. If you promote to director in September, January and February are a lot different than September. So if you promote and you're not ready, and especially if you promote and you just stop recruiting and stop working, you're not going to continue to be paid at title. So, and Mayor's story is good to compare to that. Sorry, I just keep talking, but it is what it is. Mayor's story is good to compare to that because she struggled for a long time to be paid at title. And I remember coaching her on the phone. I literally remember sitting on my back porch talking to her. And I've done so many coaching calls, but I remember this. And we were talking about how her team was just kind of stagnant, and she felt like she didn't have any rock stars. Like she was still looking for those people. And I was like, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. You're going to find the people. You have to recruit the many to find the few. Recruit lots of people so that you can find those few rock stars, and those few rock stars are who are going to change your business. We have 1,753 people in our group. We have 21 directors. That tells you something. 10% of your group is going to do 90% of the work. So when you're working hard with those people who are working, they're going to change your business. So that's all I have. I'm going to stop talking now. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being on. There's still 15 of you, and we're an hour and 20 minutes in. So that's awesome. But yeah, I hope that this spoke to you, and I appreciate Mayor. I appreciate Dixie and Crystal. Thank y'all so much for sharing your stories. And I will talk to you all soon. I love y'all.